Good morning, Chaverim. We're in Amound Yomi. We are in Masechet Pesahim. We are at the bottom of Nun Chet, Amud Bet. We are at the second to last line where it says Tanu Rabbanan. Tanu Rabbanan, Tamid Kodem LePesach. We're speaking about the afternoon right now. So like we said yesterday, every day there was a communal korban which is called the Tamid. The Tamid is the sheep. It has to be brought in the evening, in the afternoon. On some days, you're going to have a korban Pesach, once a year. That is Erev Pesach, on the 14th of Nisan. Now, what do we bring first? Like we said yesterday, you bring the Tamid. You have it, David? Nun Chet Amud Bet, bottom of the page. See the last line? One line before. Tanu Rabbanan. Tamid Kodem LePesach. You with me, Gan?
Yeah.
So what comes first in the afternoon? Tamid. Kodem Pesach. Pesach Kodem LeKtoret. In the afternoon, you have Ketoret as well. Uktoret Kodem LeNerot. And you also light candles in the Beit HaMikdash, in the menorah, every single night. And they need to be lit until the morning. So we see over here that what do we have? We have, in the afternoon, there's a few things to do. So what is the Tamid? That's the communal korban that's brought every day as a sheep. Then you have the korban Pesach. If, like we said, Erev Pesach, we're going to do it earlier, then we're going to call Pesach. And then, more towards the evening, last thing you're going to do, last is the Ketoret. And after the Ketoret will be the candles. Ketoret and the Nerot.
Four things.
Yeah. Thing is, what
kind? A regular day?
well, this is Erev Pesach, but even, otherwise it will be a Tamid, and then the Ketoret, and then the Nerot. This is talking about the afternoon. This is what's happening inside the Beit HaMikdash Shavlim. And the Gemara explains why. Ye'uchar davar shenar bo ba'erev uben arba'im, לדבר שלא נאמר בו בערב אלא ben arba'im. So, whenever the Torah is going to say ben ha'arba'im, it means towards the afternoon. Ba'erev also means towards the evening, because erev means ma'arav, when the sun is going to the west side. So once the sun is going on the left side of the, it's going on the western side of the world, so that's already when you can start bringing the Tamid. And then more towards the evening, the afternoon, you're going to bring the Ketoret, and then you're going to bring the Tamid. Just if there's a Korban Pesach, it's going to go after the Tamid. And why is it that this is the order? Because sometimes the Torah is going to say Ba'erev, sometimes it's going to say Ben Arba'im. Sometimes it's only going to say one thing. So all of them mean evening. But if it says twice, Ba'erev, Ben Arba'im, so then it's going to be really towards the evening. Ben Arba'im. Ben Arba'im, it's going to be really towards the Arba'im. Ben Arba'im. When it's going to be really towards the evening, it's written twice, so it's going to be really towards the evening. But if it's written only once by Erev, so that'll be yes in the evening, but it's going to be before. That's what it says. Let's read it again.
So there's 3 times?
No.
Yeah.
It's all in the same time frame,
Afternoon,
but what comes
night.
first?
Afternoon, night.
Yeah, it's afternoon, night.
Right?
But yes.
Arba'im means afternoon. Erev
Arba'im means towards the evening. Erev means night. So you see that Korban Pesach says both. Let's see. So Korban Pesach says both of them. Let's look at the pasuk Bet. Look at pasuk Bet in Torah O. Or look at pasuk Aleph. You see it? Kiman hamakom asher yivchar Hashem l'kodesh kem shosham tizbach Pesach ba'erev. So here, this is also the afternoon. Erev means the afternoon. Erev means the afternoon at this point. Yes, we call Erev night, but it really means the afternoon. Because the Korban Pesach is born on the 14th. It's born on the day. So you see, the pasuk says ba'erev, and it also says in the next pasuk, Vayan lechem mishperet ad 14 yom lechodesh hazeh, sharetu oto kol kal adat Yisrael ben ha'arba'im. You also bring it in the afternoon. So it says twice.
It's really the same thing.
It's the same thing. So the fact that it says twice for Korban Pesach.
2 different words for the same thing?
Yes, 2 different words for the same thing.
So what about the concept of Tadir?
Good question. If the Torah wouldn't say it, we would. Well, that's This actually works out because the Tamid is every day. Korban Pesach is once a year. So the Tamid is going to come before the Korban Pesach. The question is, why will the Ketoret come after the Korban Pesach? Anyway, so what do we see over here? That the Tamid only says Ben Ha'arba'im. And the Korban Pesach says Ba'erev Ben Ha'arba'im. So it's more late. They're both in the same time frame, but what's going to come first? Do we do the Tamid first or the Korban Pesach first? So we're going to do the Tamid first because it only sends one Ba'erev, and the Korban Pesach says twice Ben Ha'arba'im. So that's what the Gemara says. Iachi Ketoret v'Nerot nami kadmu de Pesach. Well, the problem with that is by Ketoret and the Nerot, it also says only one thing. It doesn't say Nigdemu de Pesach. It should be before the Korban Pesach. Why? Yuchad דבר שנאמר בו בערב ובין 40, לדבר שלא נאמר בו אלא בין 40 בלבד. When it comes to the Ketoret, it only says, you say it every day, בין 40. And the Nerot are also connected with that. It also says, let's read that pasuk again, look at Dalit. Dalit says, ובעלות אהרון את הנרות בין 40, יקטירנה. In the afternoon, you're going to bring the candles and you will burn the incense. Ketoret tamid לפני השם לדורותיכם. You're going to be the ketoret every single day. So you see, it only says once. So why is the ketoret and the nerot are going to be last? They should be before. It should be tamid, ketoret, nerot, and then it should be afterwards the Korban Pesach. So the Gemara says, Shani hatam dimi'ed rachmana oto. Let's look at pasuk hey. Be'oel moed michutz taparochet. Where are you lighting the candles? You're lighting it inside the Oel Moed. There's the big outside area in the Bet Mikdash, and then there's the inside area which is called inside the oil, and there you're going to write it outside the parochet. There's right outside the Kodesh Kodeshim over there. There is the menorah. Asher an ha'edut yaroch oto Aaron ubana me'erev ad boker. So the candles need to be lit in the Beit Mikdash from the evening to the morning. Lifnei Hashem chukat olam ledochotem me'et ben Yisrael. But look what it says over here. Yaroch oto Aaron ubanav. What does it mean, yaroch? Set up the candles. Yaroch oto. Set. What is it? It should have said yacho. It could have said yacho. If so, we're talking about lighting candles. It didn't say yaroch oto. What is that word oto? That word oto is going to tell us that it comes last. You're going to see how. See that. Look, the Gemara says Detanya me'erev ad boker tenna. What does it mean me'erev ad boker? Tenna midah sheteh doreket me'erev ad boker. What does it mean? You light it me'erev ad boker. You're constantly lighting it. So the first shot is no. You light it that it should be lit all night. Enough oil that it should last all night. Like we do, Hanukkah has to last a certain amount of time. So in the Beit HaMikdash, they would put a certain amount of oil that's going to last all nights, even the longest nights, like now it's the longest nights. Tevet is the longest nights. Davar echad, davar acher, en licha avodah shekeshera me'erev ad boker, ela zo bilvad. The only thing you can do late into the night is the candles and the ketoret. You can actually do it last. The only thing that's allowed to be done late, that's allowed even like up to the morning, it is the ketoret. Ma'itama amakira yaroch oto. It says ba'erev and it says yaroch oto. Oto banav. Yaroch oto Aaron banav me'erev ad boker. Oto me'erev ad boker. Ve'en davar acher me'erev ad boker. So the word oto me'erev ad boker says only this is allowed to be from the night to the morning. So it seems to be it's like the last thing to do. So it's true that it's written for Tamid it's only written ben arba'in. For Korban Pesach it's written ba'erev and it's also written ben arba'in. So therefore Tamid is going to come first, then Korban Pesach, and then Korban Pesach. Then the Nerot is only written ben arba'in and the Ketoret is only written ben arba'in. So it should be according to the rule that it only has one language. It should be early up, but no, because the pasuk says Yaroch oto me'erev ad boker. So from here we see that it can be done late. Nothing else can be done late. So the last thing to bring is the ketoret and the nerot.
Because it says it's connected to the book.
Yaroch oto me'erev ad boker. Is there a gemara for Yonatan? Here you go.
Yaroch means
Yaroch. Set it up. Set it up. Set it up. Yes. Yaroch. Set up the candles. Fix up the candles, set them up, me'erev ad boker. What can you do until the morning? Meaning, what's the latest thing you can only do? Only that you can do late. So that's what it learns, that's the last thing. But according to the rule that we said, yes, Yaroch oto, because the pasuk says it. Now, according to the rule we just said, that's going against the rule. Because the rule we said is if it says one language, it should be earlier. Two language should be later. And only has one language, it should be earlier. Now the Gemara is going to say there's another opinion that actually says it's earlier. V'tanya kukushan. And there's another braita that goes according to our problem. Our problem was in second. It says only ben arba'in. Korban Pesach says ba'erev and ba'arba'in. So Korban Pesach will be later, and this one should be earlier. So we have a braita to that effect that says the problem. Tamid kodem niktoret, uktoret kodem nerot. Exactly. Like first it's the tamid, then it's the ketoret, then it's the nerot, the candles. The nerot kodem the Pesach, and then it's Korban Pesach. So it's a different opinion. It is a different opinion.
Well, what does the word arba'in mean?
It means afternoons.
So
in the afternoons.
So then why you were connecting it to the night? I don't understand that.
It's towards the night. You're right. It's afternoon. Ben harba'im means afternoon. It's when the sun.
He's asking the word arba'im.
Yes. So you were not here 2 days. One day you weren't here when we were discussing it. When speaking about the Korban Tanid is written Ben harba'im, and it's allowed to be done at 12:30, half an hour after Chatzot. Because the sun starts on the east
Okay.
and it goes to the
The
west.
word Albaim is connected to forming.
So I explain to you.
Okay.
Once the sun is over the middle point of the sky and it's
Yeah.
going towards the west side, that's called Erev.
Mhm.
Because it's going towards the Ma'arav.
Mhm.
So why did it say Ben Harbaim? There's a whole drash over there
Mhm.
that we give. So it has to be in the middle of the Arbaim. 2.5 hours before, 2.5 hours, and it's going to be right in the middle. In between the afternoons. That's what it really means. Okay? So now the Gemara says, why is it? So what do we just say? That this Braita says you have a Tamid, then you have Ketoret, and then you have Nerot, and then you have the Korban Pesach. The reason being, יאוחר דבר שנאמר בו בערב ובין הארבעים, לדבר שלא נאמר בין הארבעים בלבד. It's very simple. So anything that says only one language, which is Tamid and Ketoret and Nerot, will be first, and then the Korban Pesach that says double language of evening will be towards the evening or afternoon. The Gemara says, Vakitiv oto. 1 second. The same thing we just done before. What do you do with the word oto? Oto will try to indicate that the nerot are supposed to be the last thing to be brought. What can you do only in the evening? From the evening to the morning, the last thing is the nerot and the ketoret. So what do you do with that word oto? Hi oto mi bayre. So the word oto, we're going to use it in this matter for something else. Ma mi bayre ma'ute avoda shebifnim. Umayne nu ketoret. So really the candles have to be the very last thing. Me'erev ad boker yaroch oto. What's the last thing? It's the nerot. And but it's excluding. The fact that it said oto is this and not something else. So what are we excluding? Only avodah bifnim. That means there is inside the building of the Bet Mikdash and there's outside. So the Korban Pesach can be later. And even though we said the candles have to be last, no, the candles have to be last in relationship to the Ketoret. The Ketoret and the candles are both inside. So what comes first? The candles, and then the Ketoret. Yaroch oto. When it comes to these two, but on the outside we're not talking about. So something can be later in time if it's on the outside and on the inside. So that's how they learn it out. Since it's written, hui b'chtiv u'ba'alot aron et hanerot ben arbaim. You might have thought that the Ketoret can come last. You know why? Because the pasuk says, when Aaron is bringing the candles, when he's lighting the candles, ben arbaim yaktirena, then you will bring the incense. You might have thought that we light the candles and then we bring the Ketoret. So that's why the pasuk says, miyad rachmana oto. That's why the pasuk says oto. אלא בין הארבעים יקטירנה נמני, אחי כמה רחמנה בעידן דמדנקת נרות תהיה מקטרת קטורת. So really, the word oto tells us the candles are last, and what do you do with the pasuk says? בעלות אמרו את הנרות בין הארבעים יקטירנה. What do you mean? It says יקטירנה, בעלות אמרו את הנרות יקטירנה. Why you bring the candles? יקטירנה. So the answer is, while you're lighting the candles, that's while the incense is burning, that's when you start lighting the candles. Meaning, you could do the incense and then 20 minutes later do the candles. No, we want to bring the candles while the incense is burning. If we just review what we said over now, so we said that there are certain things that need to be done in the afternoon. And what will indicate it as in the afternoon? A certain language. The language could be Erev or could be Ben Arba. If the general rule will be, if the Torah says a double language of afternoon, it'll be later. You know, you're doubling up the language, so push it later. Because what do we put first? In the afternoon setting. So we're going to do Tamid. It says once Ben Arbaim. You're going to do Ketoret and then the candles, and then you're going to do Korban Pesach in time frame. The problem with that is the pasuk says Oto. When it comes to the candles, it says the candles have to be last. So the answer is yes, the candles have to be last in relationship to whatever is close to it in the space. Korbanot are outside, Ketoret and candles are inside. So in between those two, you got to bring the candles last. You bring the Ketoret first. And even though the pasuk seems not to say it like that, because it says Balot Aaron et hanirot ben arvim yaktirena. So it sounds like you brought the candles and then you lit the incense. No. And the answer is while you are lighting the candles while the incense is burning. Meaning let the incense, as soon as you lit the incense and it's still going, it's still smoking, that's when you start lighting the candles. Tanu Ramana, new subject. So now in the morning, what is the first thing we do in the morning? The only thing that we're going to burn on the Mizbeach is the Ketoret. The first thing that we bring, the communal offering, will be the Korban Tamid, which is the communal sheet that we're going to bring. And the only thing you can do before that will be the Ketoret. So the Seder will be Ketoret, and then it will be the Korban. When you say Ketoret every day, what does it say? Baboker. So again, the same thing. Something that says Baboker needs to be in the morning. Something says Baboker needs to be very early in the morning if it says twice. Yugdam Ketoret.
Isn't it double lashon later?
For night, so it's interesting.
For night,
If we're going night, so we're pushing it lower in the night, more towards the night. If it's baboker, more towards the morning. That's what it says. יוקדם כתורת דבר שנאמר בו בבוקר בבוקר. דכתיב וכתיר עליו אהרון כתורת שמים בבוקר בבוקר. לדבר שלא נאמר בו אלא בוקר אחד. Because when it comes to the time, it only says boker. The ketoret says boker b'boker, so therefore the ketoret will be first, and then the ketoret will be second. ואין לך דבר שמתעכב אחר תמיד של בין 40. And now we're going, this bite is talking about the morning and the evening. What's the last thing in the evening? אלא ketoret v'nerot v'pesach. So the only thing you can have after the Tamid of the afternoon, like we said, it's the ketoret, it's going to be the candles, and it's going to be the Pesach. And now we're adding something, which we're going to open up a new subject. And it's called Mechusar Kippurim Be'erev Pesach. There's a person which is called Mechusar Kippurim. Shetovel Shenit Ve'ochele Pischo. He can bring his korban, he can go in the mikveh, then he can eat his korban Pesach. So imagine a guy that he's a Mitzorah, for example, okay? A guy is a Mitzorah, and he has to bring 2 korbanot. You cannot do your korban Pesach if you're in a state of impurity. So what do you need to do to get out of a state of impurity? A zav or a mitzorah. A zav is like a seminal emission, but it's like an illness. You have a mitzorah that's like a leopard. You have a lady that's a nida. All kinds of things where a person's tamei. You got to bring a korban. You got to bring to the mikveh. So imagine the guy that he's a mitzorah. And by the way, the mitzorah has to bring 3 things. He needs to bring a chatat. He needs to bring an asham, and he brings to bring an olah. So the guy has a lot of things to bring. Okay, 1 chatat offering.
3 animals.
3 animals.
Mm-hmm. All this before his korban Pesach.
All that is just the start. We don't let you in.
Clean them.
If you're not cleaned up, you can't even come in here. Do a clean up before you can start. So now, the guy that went to the mikveh, he's still called Mechusar Kippurim. You can't do anything. You didn't bring your kapara. By the way, just be very clear, there was a certain amount of time. We don't even let you start bringing until 7 days have passed, for example, the mitzvah. So if you're a zav, you got to be 7 days in seclusion. Once that's done, you can start coming. Then you're going to bring your time is elapsed. You're good, but you're still mechusar kippurim. You're still not in place. You're not impure anymore. Yes, meaning the impurity will be, for example, 7 days. I'm making it up. I think it's 7 days. But then you're still lacking an atonement. So the time is elapsed that you're not tameh, but you still got to bring your korban. And so you didn't do an avirah of coming to Beit Mikdash because you're not tameh, because you even went to the mikveh, but you didn't bring your korban. You didn't pay your membership. So you got to pay your dues before you can bring korban pesach. So the guy now, he's bringing his chatat, he's bringing his shlamim, he's bringing his olah, all 3 things, and he's there. He has his shamas carrying them, and he's coming into korban pesach. But he it's so busy, it's so crazy over there. He mixed up and he did his korban pesach first. So now he did his korban pesach, and he wants to eat. He said, "Oh my gosh, I'm still mechusar kippurim. I didn't bring my korbanot." So what do you want this guy to do? So this guy's in big trouble, because we know the rule is he has to go back and bring a chatat and bring an olah, bring a shlamim. So we know that you're not allowed to do that after korban pesach. Our rule is after tamid, ketoret, nerot, korban pesach, closed. So the guy is now, he has a korban pesach, he can't eat it. Okay, maybe, but it's a mitzvah doraita to korban pesach, and you're actually karet if you don't eat korban pesach. So what do we allow? We allow you to bring it. So what did we just say? Let's read that again. Tanu Rabbanan. Sorry. ואין לך דבר שמתעכב אחר תמיד שבין 40 אלא כתורת. The only thing that can be after the tamid of the afternoon is כתורת, נרות, the כתורת, the incense, the candles, Pesach, and mechusar kippurim בערב Pesach. So he's mechusar kippurim, he can bring his atonement, he can bring his korbanot, and shetovel shenit, then he's got to go to the mikveh again, ואוכל את פסחו. We allow you to do it. לערב. That is Tanakama. Rabbi Ishmael adds something else, בלא של רבי ירוחם, אומר אף מחוסר כיבורים בשאר ימות השנה, שטובל ואוכל בקודשים לערב. Actually, he's going to allow even something more. Not only Erev Pesach, every single day. The guy shows up, he brought a shlamim. He's showing up, he's bringing a shlamim, he's bringing something. So he brings his korban. Then he's about to eat it, and he says, 1 second, I'm still in Mitzorah. I had to bring a chatat from Mitzorah. So the guy is allowed to come back and bring his chatat mitzvah in order to eat his regular korban. Now, we see over here that it's a mitzvah to eat the korban. I want to read the Rashi. Please look at the Rashi. It says, B'shar yimot hashana. So nedava means a voluntary offering. Rashi on the right side of basically where the Gemara we are. The first words in the words Rashi is B'shar yimot hashana. In the rest of the days, if you bring some communal, a voluntary offering, you have it? On your right side. Yeah? Kodem tamid. So you brought a shlami. Vehu haya mechusar kippurim. The guy is still lacking in atonement. V'im lo yavi kaparato, lo yochal et shnemav. You can't eat your shlamim if you don't bring your kapara. So we allow you to go ahead and bring your korban to give you an expiation atonement. Dichtiv ve'achlu oto asher kupar behem al ma'achinat koshim aseh. Because the pasuk says you will eat your korban after you are pure. So eating a korban is a mitzvah aseh. So you have a mitzvah of the Torah to eat a korban. So we allow you to bypass a regular rule in order to bring your korban. To bring your korban to give you a kapara. So just to be clear, we're talking about two different types of people. They are both called mechusar kippurim. They both have gone through the time frame. Who asked me about korban pesach, korban sheni? The guy doesn't. He's tamei for 1 week. Too big, can't do nothing. But if your week is allotted and now you're really good to go, just bring your korban and then do the rest. But he forgot to bring his korban. Now he did his korban pesach, so we allow him to bring his korban of the chatat and the shlami of the chatat after the fact, and then go ahead and go mikveh again. But that's according to Tanakama. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Brucha says, I let you any day of the year, because any day of the year that you showed up, you have a mitzvah to eat your korban. So if you can't eat your korban, so we're going to let you go ahead and bring your retroactive kapara. Okay. The Gemara questions this.
He has to redo the korban pesach, or
No, korban pesach is good. The korban pesach is good. Wait, I'm rushing back to Beit Mikdash. You're not the Kohen's. You're not going to the Kohen. Ain't doing go away. We're closed. No, bring. My wife is the mikveh lady. My wife is the mikveh lady. So sometimes we get calls like all hours that people flying in. They want to go late. We're closed. So she's not the official. She like helps out, and she lives next door. And
she goes. She opens.
sometimes she goes at midnight. There's people call late, and it's like we're close to service, and she goes. I have an amazing story to tell you after about this. Maybe not.
C'est pas une mitzvah d'avoir ses corbanotes aussi, d'oraïta?
Oui, c'est une mitzvah de les manger. Un mitzvah de les manger.
Il y a le korban, on dit qu'on le fait passer avant, on outrepasse la règle, mais c'est aussi une mitzvah les corbanotes.
Oui, c'est une mitzvah, mais il y a une autre mitzvah d'oraïta, ne pas n'amener shum davar après korban pesach. D'après la Torah, tu dois amener korban pesach, c'est la dernière chose. Comment maintenant tu peux amener? Tu es en train de faire une avera. Tu es en train de bypass un assay pour faire un autre assay. That's what the Gemara is going to ask now. What are you doing? Why did you choose this assay to this assay? It's a mitzvah to bring lasting korban. And it's a mitzvah to you eat your korban. So either way you're going to go, you're going to have a problem. Either you didn't eat your korban, or you didn't follow the rules of the Beit HaMikdash. So the Gemara says, Bishlama netana kama. We understand according to the first opinion, Yavo assay de Pesach, korban Pesach. It's you got to eat your korban Pesach. We're going to let you bypass the rule of following the order. We're going to let you bring something which you're not allowed to bring. You're going to bring a shlamim late at night. And why? So that you can eat korban pesach. Sheyesh bo karet. Because korban pesach is very serious. It's an aseh that if you don't do it, it's chayav karet. Very rare. There's only a few of them. Brit milah, korban pesach. If the guy doesn't eat his korban pesach, it's a karet. He's chayav. His soul is cut off. So now what's?
What if he's vegan?
Too bad. There's no vegan in Torah. Now the ashlama is the last thing you bring in the day. That's not a karet. So yes, there's the mitzvah. What did we say the mitzvah is? That the last thing in the day is you can only bring the korban pesach. Tamid, kotoret, nerot, korban pesach. You can't bring anything else. That's a Torah law. Well, guess what? It's also a Torah law for eating my korban pesach. So which one are you going to choose? We let the guy bring his shlamim to be able to eat his korban pesach, because if he doesn't eat korban pesach, it's a karet. We understand that it's true. Now we can understand why we push off one aseh for another aseh. But Elad Rabbi Shimon beno shel Rabbi Yochanan ben Bruka, mai ulima dehayaseh nehayaseh. Why would you take this one over this one? Okay, it's a mitzvah to eat his shlamim at night. It's a mitzvah, but it's also a mitzvah not to bring anything else. So why is one stronger than the other? That's for korban pesach. But according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Bruka,
the guy's in a particular situation, right? That's the whole thing.
Okay, let's explain the rule. The rule is an aseh does not push over an aseh. Right. I am the gizbar of the Beit HaMikdash. I'm the manager of the Beit HaMikdash. Yeah. I'm sorry, sir. Our rules, our mitzvah is this is the last korban. Right. We cannot bring your shlamim that you had to bring today. Please, next time be responsible. Put yourself in alarm and come on time. Yeah. But it's korban pesach. Oh, as the rabbi, we went in Sanhedrin. Yeah. Korban pesach. You're gonna aseh is gonna go away for him to eat korban pesach. Let him bring his shlamim to give him a kapara that he can eat his korban pesach, because he doesn't eat his korban pesach. He's a karet.
Right.
So they're both aseh.
Right.
So we're going to take away one aseh of the Beit HaMikdash to allow the individual these korban pesach. That's good for Tanakama. But Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai ben Berucha said, and actually we allow this rule every single day. A regular Wednesday today, what is today? Yom Revi'i, on Cheshvan, the guy showed up to Beit HaMikdash. I got a shlamim over here, I'm giving my shlamim, I'm going to eat it tonight. I'm sitting at my table, the guy's a mitzvah, he didn't bring his mitzvah. He's going to come back, he's going to knock, the guy's going to say, we are closed.
Yeah.
Go to the Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin, what should they say? Say, listen, these are equal. Mitzvah doraita, mitzvah doraita. Your mitzvah doraita is not going to make us do an avirah. Your mitzvah of eating your korban, please put in your calendar, be responsible.
Yeah.
So that's what we're asking. But Rabbi Yochanan doesn't say that. He says you're allowed to do it. The korban, the Beit HaMikdash will open you up, bring the guy's mitzvah korban, and therefore you can eat the shlamim at night. And the question is
for
why?
the rest of the year, not for Pesach.
That's exactly. Pesach we have no problem. This Shlama, the Gemara said, we understand. But the rest of the year, why in the world would you allow that? So the Gemara gives an answer. Amar Ravina, Amar Rav Chizda, Acha bechatata ofaskinan. We're talking about a mitzorah that is poor. And a mitzorah that is poor, when he brings his chatat, he's allowed to bring a bird. And the bird doesn't get burnt on the mizbeach. The bird, all you do, the Kohen shechs it, he sprinkles the blood and he eats the bird. So the real thing you can't bring on the mizbeach is korbanot. But if I'm not bringing his bad. So you're right, we wouldn't allow it all year. The only time we'd allow it is a poor guy that can bring his bird. That's what we're saying.
Poor guy for the year?
Huh?
For Pesach, it's fine?
Pesach you're always allowed because there's a karet. But the regular guy in the year is knocking on the door. What do you got over here? I got a sheep.
What's the thing with the bird? We're not going to kill. We don't shech the bird off.
So to explain, a
It's just with
mitzorah,
the-
we do shech it from the neck,
right,
from the back of the
right,
neck,
right.
and it is a korban, but it's
Right.
not burnt. When you bring a sheep, you take fats, you burn it, you take things, you burn it, and we eat parts. So anything else, we cannot burn anything on the mizbeach after Pesach. Sorry. But I have an aseh. We also have an aseh. Too bad for you. Okay, but if the guy shows up with a bird, that's different.
Right.
We have no prohibition of bringing a bird because the bird's not going on the mizbeach. The last service on the mizbeach is the korban. You bring a bird, we're going to be next to the mizbeach. We're going to shecht it from the back with the
Right,
with
with
the
the nail.
with the nail over
Right.
there, and they're going to sprinkle the blood. But that's not the prohibition.
Right.
And the Kohen's going to eat it. That's no problem. So really, we're redefining what he said, Rabbi Shimon.
Wow.
Rabbi Shimon was only talking about when it was a bird, but it
Has to
wasn't a
bring
bird.
three birds.
Huh?
Has to bring 3 birds?
So no, that's the problem. You only have to bring one bird. You can only bring for a korban. You're asking a good question. God said once that we have a chatat, we have a shlamim, we have an olah. So you got me for the chatat, got it. But what about the shlamim?
The other one.
The Gemara says, askinan, she'en mizbech, she'en mizbech el adama, all it has bloods. Rav Papa amar afilu tema bechatat bema. Rav Papa is going to find a way that you can even bring a bema. You know how? Male umanina berosho shel mizbeach. You shecht it. You bring it up on the mizbeach and you don't burn it. And you leave it there overnight till the next morning. Meaning, once the guy's a mitzorah.
And that
So-
meat doesn't rot.
So imagine the guy, okay? The guy came from Haifa, he brought his shlamim, he's sitting at his table, he said, oy vey, I didn't bring my chatat from mitzorah. Comes back and knock on the door, what do you do? Rav Papa, I got a solution. Shech the bema, cut it up, bring the meats on the mizbeach, don't burn them. Once they got on the mizbeach,
It's on.
it's on.
So it's burning.
No, because there's a huge mizbeach, there's a fire here, and there's a lot of places. The Kohanim are walking over there.
Ah.
It's like a huge room. It's like a huge roof. And there's fire over here, fire. Don't burn it. So don't burn it. Leave it over here. So once it got on the top of this mech, the guy's clean. And you didn't do an avirah of leaving it overnight because it didn't burn yet. And he's allowed to go home and eat, and then you burn it the next morning. The Gemara says, Bishlama va'ika asham. Okay, well there's an asham as well. An asham is the second offering you do. Bishlama Rav Papa, hainu de maninim, Rav Chizda ma'ikar mamar. Now, okay, for the asham we can do the same thing, but there's no bird asham. So how did because you see that Tanakama or the first opinion, which was Ravina, Rav Chizda didn't allow this whole story of leaving on top. So what is Rav Chizda going to say for the asham? What are you going to do for that? Ma'ikar mamar. Amar shikra v'ashamo. Yeah, we're actually talking a case where the guy already brought the asham. My only case for Rav Chizda is the guy brought his asham, he forgot his chatat. Va'ika olah. There's also an olah. Olah is the third thing he has to bring, and that's got to be burnt as well. V'kitem ha'olol no me'akva. V'atani Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Rabbi Yochanan ben Berucha omer, kishem shechatatu v'shanua me'akvil, oto kach olato me'akvato. So the olah also has to be brought before the guy can eat his korban. V'kitem b'shekava olato mikarva. Okay, maybe he brought his olah. He can't say that he brought his olah because the olah can only be brought last. ומי קרבה עולתו קודם לחטאתו, והתניא, הקריב את אשר לחטאת ראשונה. מה אתה לומר? אם נלמד שתהיה קודמת לעולה, הרי כבר נאמר, ואת שני יעשה עולה כמשפט. אלא זה בן האב, לכל חטאות שיהיה קודמים לכל העולות. So I went a little bit quickly, but we have two psukim over here that are saying that the עולה always has to be last. How about עמהן? וכאמנן דאפילו חטאת העוף קודמת לעולה. לעולת בהמה. So basically what the Gemara just said over here, I'll repeat it one more time. We're talking about a guy that has a shlamim. He brought a shlamim. He gets back home and he realizes that he's still a mitzorah. Mitzorah needs to bring three things. Needs to bring chatat, asham, and olam. So far so good?
Yeah.
So how are you going to get away with this? So says, we allow you to do it according to Rabbi Shimon. How? Explains Rav Chizda. I'll tell you how. Because the bird that he's going to bring now, the chatat he's going to bring is a bird. Okay? And that you don't have to put on his back. The asham, he already brought it. We're talking about God that already brought the asham. And the olah, well, he can't have brought it because it's always last. So the guy's a problem now. If you're bringing the chatat, you got to be bringing the olah now. So what are you going to do with that? And the olah has to be brought to be put over here. So the Gemara says, Amar Rabba Shane Olah de Mitzorah, Olat Mitzorah de Chamana Amar Vehala Hakohen et haolah she'olah kvar. So the pasuk when it's saying bring the olah, it doesn't say bring the olah. It says he'alah. He'alah is past tense. So actually there is one b'diavad halacha that the olah is the only thing that we're allowed to. That if you didn't bring it first, b'diavad it still counts. And therefore the Allah was already written, even though the order should not be brought in. I'll just repeat that one more time, is that the order of a mitzorah is to bring chatat, asham, olah. The asham could be brought before the chatat, doesn't make a difference. But the olah should be brought last. But if he brought the olah first, it actually works b'diavad. So we're talking about a guy, so now what are we talking about? The guy showed up on a regular Wednesday. He brought his shlamim in the middle of the day. Then he realized that night that he is mitzorah. Now he can't eat his thing because he has to go ahead and bring his chatat. Guess what? He already brought his olah. We're talking about a guy that already brought his olah shlamim. He brought in the day.
How do you bring those two and then forget?
He mix up. Forgot that one. I can't believe it. Forgot it. I did two. The guy's new to this. You know, he's about tshuva. He's new to this. So then he has to bring his chatat. So now we say that the chatat you can bring if it's a bird. So you go ahead and bring the chatat. If you're a poor guy that has to bring the bird, well, since that's not going after the Korban Pesach, it's mutar, and that's the only thing that's allowed. So the only thing that's really allowed, technically, according to this opinion, is a bird, because it's not going on the mizbeach. When it's the only thing, it's not going on the mizbeach. There's no problem to be a bird. But according to the other opinion, which is Rav Papa, you can actually bring the korban and leave it on the mizbeach and not burn it to the next day.
You burn it the next morning?
Yes, you do. Chazak u baruch.